Now, more of the Dan Williams Show on WKAC.
Okay, we're back on the air. We're back with Linda Gottlieb and Mark Davis, and we're talking about parental alienation syndrome. Go ahead, Mark.
Linda, one of the questions I have for you, in the state of Alabama, the judiciary basically states that if you have two parents that are no longer together, if they are in conflict with one another, then that is a basis to prevent the court from ordering equal custody. And I know that you've done some research on that, and I'd like your thoughts and comments on it.
Well, first of all, I think we need to ask ourselves, are we a country of laws or are we an anarchy? The reality is we pass laws all the time that people don't like, and they learn to live with it. Now, there are many states, like California, where they assume joint custody, and the burden of proof is that you must show that sole custody is better, and basically it's only on the basis that one of those parents is not fit. We need to take the choice away from parents, because all the research shows that children do best when two parents remain meaningfully in the child's life after divorce and separation. When parents are denied the choice and told joint custody, live with it, they respond. Now, I remember in the 60s when I was in college, and in my sociology class, we were debating the implementation of the Civil Rights Act. And a couple of the very conservative students raised their hands and said to the professor, Edward Sagarin, a very brilliant man, you can't enforce morality. And Dr. Sagarin responded, you're right, you can't enforce morality, but this isn't a question of morality. This is a question of behavior, and behaviors can be enforced with appropriate consequences. Well, joint custody is a behavior also, and you have to tell parents, we know it's in the child's best interest that they have two parents involved meaningfully. Any parent who cannot cooperate with that and put the needs of their kids above their own emotions can't be a parent. And they're the ones that really should not have joint custody. So I don't buy this at all. California has a successful plan for joint custody. Many other states do. Take the choice away from parents and tell them this is not an option. And they will abide. You can't rob a bank. That's not an option. You can't run a stop sign and speed. That's not an option. Well, it's the same thing with this. This is a behavior that society must make a decision on what is the best interest of the child, and then tell everybody involved, live with this, make it work. And in my own practice, I have seen it. The minute the alienating parent was threatened with loss of custody, boy, you could see how fast they cooperated.
Okay, we've got another minute or so before next break. Mark, when we're talking about, to start with, and I don't know, what do people think about whose fault is it when parents separate or whatever? It throws these things into the court system, and then we wind up in a situation where families or particular people whose children are alienated from them are trying to get the legislature to do something, and we may need to wait till after break to do that.
I can answer this in a minute.
Okay.
Part of my volunteering for the Alabama Family Rights Association, I talk to hundreds of parents throughout the state that are going through child custody issues in the court system. And the majority of those folks will tell me that me and my ex got along fine until the attorneys became involved.
Yeah.
So you go hire a lawyer, and you've got to protect your legal rights, and I'm not faltering people for doing that, but when you go retain a lawyer, the first thing that attorney tells both parents is, well, you don't talk to the other parent at all.
Yeah.
Don't say anything to them. Don't agree to anything. And then it becomes a legal war. And so by the time it comes before a judge, the parents are at war with one another because the attorneys have fostered, for whatever reason, and it's just down here for there until the child turns 19 or for the rest of those people's lives. So
yeah. Well,
that's absolutely true. That's what I found in my own practice. And it's absurd. That's why I've recommended that child custody must be mandated into a collaborative model rather than the adversarial model.
Yeah.
Adversarial model is inimical to the child's best interest.
I'm going to say this one thing, 30 seconds, and then we'll go to the break. if you have a starting point with the law that we're asking the Alabama legislature to pass that says it's presumed that both parents are fit, absent extenuating circumstances, those two parents have got to come up with a parenting plan that they both want to implement. And unless, you're unfit, I'm going to treat both of you equal at the bar of justice. That's going to cut out this going to war. Mm-hmm. And the attorneys are still going to be involved. They're still going to have to make money because they're still going to have to negotiate the parenting plan and that type of thing. But that's going to make everything better for the parents, the children, the extended families, and all the citizens of the state of Alabama.
Absolutely, I agree completely.
The problem is Alabama has done what they've done in child custody laws for the last 60 years the same way.
Yeah.
And they can't think outside the mold of that.
Yeah.
So I think you need a break, but
yeah, I think we got a break coming up. We'll be back in just a minute after our news break with Mark Davis and Linda Gottlieb.